another reptile tournament. But this time we're doing it with snakes. Now I'm not going to bore you this time with the setup with me using ChatGPT and going through all of that antics. That bitch has taken up enough of my time at this point. So let's dive on into this then, shall we? Let the 2024 UEFA EURO Snake Tournament commence. So same as before, I got ChatGPT to give me 32 snakes, which took a while, but we got there in the end. And I got her to separate them into groups of 4. So we've got our group stages now. So let's go through our group stages, choose what our number 1 spot is and our number 2 spot. So just in case I wasn't clear in the previous video, the group stages tend to be that all 4 of those teams play each other, and then they have a point system depending on wins or goals. I can't obviously do that because the snakes aren't actually going to be playing soccer, because, you know, they got no legs. Football is kind of difficult when you don't have feet. So I'm just going to choose what first place and second place is. That is it. But the team that wins the group stage, the team that I deem in first place, has an advantage when it comes to round of 16, because then that team that placed first in one particular group will be going up against the team that placed second in another particular group. So they have a slight advantage. So Group A, we've got the ball python, western hognose, Kenyan sandboa, black rat snake. No surprise, the Kenyan sandboa isn't going through. Western hognose. I mean, at one point I had 18 of the buggers. I'm going to put them in first place. So in second place, we've got either the ball python or the black rat snake, because like I said, Kenyan sandboa is not going through. I'm going to give it to the black rat snake just because they're the biggest rat snake. Group B. Carpet python, boa constrictor, California, red-sided garter snake, whatever, just a garter snake in general. I don't really know if I'm going to go that into specifics. And bull snake. All right. Now, when it comes to my experience keeping snakes, I haven't really had a lot of experience with bigger snakes, like boas and carpet pythons and things of that nature. Henceforth why I didn't put the ball python through in Group A. So the carpet python and boa constrictor, I'm not going to let pass to the next round because they're big-bodied snakes and I just don't have a lot of experience with them. So we're going to stick to the other ones, the smaller ones. So bull snake or garter snake. I have a real love for garter snakes, so I'm going to put them in the first position. Bull snakes, second position. Group C, king snake. That's just going to be any generic king snake here. So take your pick as to which one it is. Green tree python, false water cobra, rainbow boa. Right. False water cobra, first place. Hands down, one of my favorite snakes. Does not mean it's going to win the tournament though. Rainbow boas, I have no real experience with them and they are a larger bodied snake as well, so I'm probably going to just boot them out. King snake or green tree python, I'm going to give it to the green tree python. Group D, corn snake, milk snake, Texas rat snake, Woma python. Now this is an interesting group because I've owned 3 out of 4 of these snakes. I haven't owned a Woma python, but I really want one. They're going to go in the second spot. They're going to play second and go through to round of 16. Texas rat snake, I have 3 of them. Latte, Casper, and Salty. Corn snakes, I also have 3 of, which you haven't met any of those yet, but I'll tell you their names, and then leave in the comments if you know where these names come from. If you Googled it, it doesn't count. Harpo, Chico, Groucho. Let me know. I'm going to put the corn snakes in first position because they're literally the best snake you can have, period. There are snakes I prefer, but a corn snake is just such a staple snake, they have to go through. So milk snake, Texas rat snake, though I have them and I love them, they're not going to be making it through. Group E, reticulated python, mangrove snake, Madagascar giant hognose, Madagascar blonde hognose. Same as when I did the lizard, she doesn't like to disperse the options very far, does she? Both Madagascar snakes are in here. I mean, she could give us a bit more variety, couldn't she? Reticulated python, not going through because of the same reason as the boa constrictor and whatnot. A bit too big for me. Blonde hognose, I have 2 of those. I'm not going to put them through. Nice snakes, perfectly fine snakes, but they're very, very flighty. Giant Madagascar hognose is coming out in spot number 1 for sure. And I'm going to put the mangrove snake in number 2 because it's a dream snake. I'll probably never have one, but it's a dream snake. Group F, Burmese python, green anaconda. Okay, well, we don't even really need to read the other participants in this group because Burmese python and green anaconda are very large-bodied snakes. Not really interested in that right now, so I'm going to be going for the other 2 snakes. Rhino rat snake and Asian vine snake. I'm going to put the rhino rat snake in spot 1. Great snakes, but bit of a hollow victory. Group G, Taiwan beauty snake, Amazon tree boa, Mexican black king snake, African egg-eating snake. African egg eater, first spot. No argument, no ifs, ands, or buts. First position, they're going through to round 16. The second place snake, Amazon tree boa. I mean, it's very similar to a green tree python, so I think I'll boot that one out because I already kind of have one. I'm sure that's going to piss off a lot of people in the comments, but regardless. So that leaves me with the Mexican Black King Snake or the Taiwan Beauty Snake, which I have owned both of those before. I'm going to give it to the Taiwan Beauty Snake because they're so big. Group H, the last group in the group stages, obviously. Red-tailed rat snake, not a clue what that is. Blood python, I don't want that. That's not coming out of the group stage. But anyway, cat eye snake, emerald tree boa. Got an Amazon tree boa and an emerald tree boa. Oh, I've just made a mistake. Let's jump back. The Amazon tree boa is not what I was thinking it was. I was thinking that was the emerald tree boa for a second. So now let's go back to Group G real quick. Amazon tree boa is still not coming through. Nippy fuckers. So back to Group H. Emerald tree boa, cat eye snake, red-tailed rat snake, because the blood python's not coming through. Cat eye snake, first spot, happy with that. And I'll give it to the emerald tree boa in second position there. Not really sure what the red-tailed rat snake is, so it's kind of difficult for me to really send in an animal that I don't know. You'd think that when I was setting up this list, because as you saw in the previous video, I have to go through quite a few setups of these lists for her to actually give me 32 usable snakes. I should have probably changed that out with something else, something more common, something that I know. But what are you gonna do? So that's the group stages done now. Round of 16, I mean. So here we go, we've got our tournament set up here with our 8 games to commence. So, game number 1, Western Hognose, Woma Python. That is a challenging game. Just in regards to how much I like them, not in regards to soccer, because though neither one of these would be very good at soccer, I have a feeling that the Western Hognoses would be notoriously bad at soccer. See, I really want to get a Woma Python, and I was close a couple of years ago to getting a trio, but I'm going to give it to the Western Hognose. It's a close game though, 1-0 to the Western Hognose. Second game, Garter Snake, Green Tree Python. I like small things, and that's not because of anything in particular. I'm going to send the Garter Snake through 2-1 to the Garter Snake. Game number 3, False Water Cobra, Bull Snake. False Water Cobra, 3-0. Absolutely annihilates the Bull Snakes. Bull Snakes, great snakes, but False Water Cobras, just, they're like up here for me. Fourth game, Corn Snake, Black Rat Snake. It's going to the Corn Snake. I don't know if there's anything in this tournament that can even beat the Corn Snake, to be honest. Oh, I'm looking ahead. I'm going to forget that. Let's just continue with what we got here. Corn Snake 2-1. Madagascar Giant Hognose, Emerald Tree Boa. I'm going to send through the Madagascar Giant Hognose. It's close between these two, for sure. There's a lot of points per side here. I'm going to go 4-3 to the Madagascar Giant Hognose. Emerald Tree Boa did well, just got beat out there. Rhino Rat Snake, Taiwan Beauty Snake. 2-0 to the Rhino Rat Snake. They go through. Taiwan Beauty Snake, great snake, love them, not making it out. African Egg Eater, Asian Vine Snake. I love African Egg Eaters, so it's going through. We'll just give it a 1-0. Don't really know much about Asian Vine Snakes. I really like the way they look, and I would like to have one in the future. African Egg Eater going through to the quarterfinals. And then our final matchup of round of 16 here, Cat Eye Snake versus the Mangrove Snake. You know what? This is how this game works. Both teams start playing. First half, nothing happens. Literally fuck all. Second half, Cat Eye Snake gets an early goal. Like minute 49. Early goal. Like just a magnificent goal. Absolutely fantastic goal. But then the Mangrove Snake decides to wake up. 4-1 to the Mangrove Snake. Alright, we're on the quarterfinals now then. That was quick, huh? I'm pumping through this one a lot quicker than the last one. Almost as if the analytics told me to do that. Forget that I said that. We're just going to keep going with this. So, first game of the quarterfinals here. Western Hognose, Garter Snake. Love them both, but the Western Hognose is just a better snake in my mind. They don't tend to musk like Garter Snakes, for one, so that helps. 2-1 to the Western Hognose. They're going through to the semi-finals. Well-deserved position. And remember before when I said I jumped forward a little bit? Yeah, this is the match that I saw coming up. False Water Cobra versus the Corn Snake. Both fucking fantastic snakes. The Corn Snake is a staple snake. It should be one of your first snakes. If you're someone who keeps snakes and you don't have a Corn Snake, you're not a reptile keeper, you're a poser. But False Water Cobras are going to be getting through just by. It's a last minute goal, 1-0 to the False Water Cobra. Match number 3 in our quarterfinals here. Madagascar Giant Hognose, Rhino Rat Snake. Hands down, Madagascar Giant Hognose, 2-1. No, screw that. 2-0. Rhino Rat Snake's a good snake. I love the way their nose moves. I saw one of these things at the Toronto Reptile Expo like a year or 2 years ago. Can't remember. Bright blue, whatever. It's in pretty much every Canadian YouTuber's video. that snake. And I was tempted to buy it, but the price tag was pretty hefty, I will say. I've never purchased an animal for that cost, not for one. So I was like, it's a nice idea, and I feel like it would be a good snake to purchase and to start the channel with, right? Instead of doing Gizmo's modification, I was considering for a second buying that snake if it was even available. I don't know. I just saw it there with a price tag that was, I can't remember, 2,000 or 3,000. Can't really remember. I was like, maybe I should do that, build it a beautiful enclosure, then move on to the Gizmo stuff. But I decided against it, probably for the best. I don't even know if that snake was even available to me, to be honest. And I don't even know who ended up buying it. I think one of the YouTubers has it, but couldn't tell you which one. All right, last game of the quarterfinals here. African egg eater or the mangrove snake. I really like African egg eaters, and I have one. And you're about to see a beautiful video of what they like to do when they're a little bit mad. And on this side, a video of what they like to do to tell you that they're mad. Great snake. Absolutely love them. But the mangrove snake is a dream snake for me, and I don't have one. The African egg eater, I do. So, you know, I seem to have already hit that Mount Rushmore. The mangrove snake is the next head up. So I'm going to give it to the mangrove snake. And it's not going to be that close of a game. 1-3 to the mangrove snake. We're on the semi-finals. Semi-finals now. I'm losing my voice here. I was screaming a lot last night, so I can't be screaming now. Alright, Western Hognose and the False Water Cobra. This sucks. Bloody Nora. That's not fair. Like, these are my two favourite snakes, pretty much. See, this is what happened in the previous one with the Lizard Tournament, where I had the Frilled Lizard and Australian Water Dragon come together. It's just not fair. I guess at least it's a semi-final, so at least they both kind of got to the end, but game starts off, False Water Cobra gets a sneaky goal. Sneaky, calculated goal, but sneaky. Then half-time. The Western Hognose have a good team pep talk. Al Pacino's in there, telling them to look to the right and look to the left at their other teammates and to make a commitment to each other. And it works. They come out of that half-time, and in the second half of the game, they score 2 goals. Western Hognose, miraculously, beats the False Water Cobra 2-1. Great attempt by the False Water Cobra, but I think the Western Hognose just has them beat by a percentage or two, in my mind anyway. And the second and last game of the semi-finals, the Madagascar Giant Hognose and the Mangrove Snake. These are both very heavy hitters. Very, very heavy hitters. Mangrove Snake is a dream snake, but so is the Madagascar Giant Hognose. So which one's more of a dream snake? They both get about the same thickness around. The Mangrove Snake is a shit ton longer than the Madagascar Giant Hognose. The mangrove snake is a shit ton more capable and a shit ton more venomous. I'm going to say those points are kind of working against the mangrove snake, actually. So I'm going to give it to the giant Madagascar Hognose snake. They're going to make it through. In terms of the goals, they got a lot of points, both of these teams. They've got a lot of positive points going for them. Let's give it 5-3 to the Madagascar Giant Hognose, and that 5th goal was like the last minute of the game. Otherwise, they were pretty neck and neck the whole game. Of course, 2 Hognose type snakes make it to the flipping finals. I mean, just to give you guys a bit of a heads up, at one point I had about 24 total Hognose snakes. Was it 24? Yeah, I think it was about 24. 24 or 25 Hognose snakes. Now, they weren't all Westerns, but I had about 24 at one time. So I do have a bit of a bias when it comes to Hognose snakes. I'm biased when it comes to the whole system, of course. This is a terribly flawed system and a completely bonkers idea. But this particular structure, how it's ended, makes total sense. If you knew me, it makes total sense. Now we come to the difficult part of me determining which one of these magnificent, fantastic, marvelous snakes is going to come out on top. Now, I have experience with both of these snakes, and it's remarkable how similar they are and how different they are. Now, I've set both of these snakes up with height in their enclosures, and they do not use it. Couldn't care less. The Western Hognose would climb up occasionally and fall off, but couldn't care less. The Madagascar Giant, no interest in the slightest of coming anywhere from off the ground. They prefer to be under the ground or on the ground. They have no interest in being above it. Food-wise, Western Hognose snakes can be a little bit picky, and Madagascar Giants tend to be a little bit picky. At least from my experience, I've had 2. One eats like an absolute menace. One eats when it feels like it. I mean, in terms of appearance, Western Hognose, you have a lot more variety in terms of colour and morphs. Giant Madagascans, you don't. They have different patterns, like I'll show you my 2, and you can kind of have an idea as to how they differ in terms of how their patterns are, but you don't really have morph options yet. Yet. Maybe in the future. And the giant Madagascar Hognose snakes are, compared to the Westerns, absolute giants. And that's the point I think I'm going to give them here. I think I'm going to give the Madagascan giant hognose snake the win, simply because they're bigger. Personality-wise, they're both very similar. Very uninclined to bite. They don't musk all that much. The giant Madagascans are a lot faster and a lot more capable in terms of their movability than the Westerns, but I kind of like that aspect of them. It's a close game, for sure. This is a very close game. But I'm going to give it to the giant Madagascan hognose snake 3-2. All right. That's not too bad. Quite happy with that. So here we got our rankings right here. Madagascan giant hognose with 4 wins, undefeated. Barely. That last final was a tough one. The ref was an absolute douchebag, gave so many yellow cards. Western hognose snake in the 2nd place with 1 loss because the ref was a douchebag. I'm going to assume his name was Dennis. And then in 3rd place, we've got the false water cobra and the mangrove snake, which obviously, as I said in the previous video, the losers of the semi-finals usually battle it out to determine which team gets 3rd. So, false water cobra, mangrove snake. Which team do I think is going to come 3rd? I think that I like the position that it's in here with the false water cobra just above the mangrove snake. Mangrove snake's a dream snake for me, absolutely, but their handleability isn't really there. Like, you can handle them, and I'm sure you can tame them down, but similar to the Texas rat snake, they do not have the same disposition as a false water cobra, so they will never be at the same level as a false water cobra. I could handle Morty when I had him without any problem whatsoever. I have a feeling that a mangrove snake's not going to be as forgiving as that, so I'm going to give it to the false water cobra. False water cobra, 3rd place. Mangrove snake in the 4th place position. So yeah, Madagascar giant hognose snake, 1st place. Western hognose snake in the 2nd place. False water cobra in 3rd place. Mangrove snake in the 4th place. Completely happy with the way that turned out. And of course, here are the teams that didn't make it through past the round of 16, but they're still fantastic pet snakes. Like, you got the Woma python in last place. That's another snake that I intend on getting in the next couple of years, like a dream animal that I've always wanted. Black-headed pythons as well, but let's be fair, that's a little bit more expensive. Fantastic snake. They're in last position. They aren't last position. They just got beat out by a better component, but still a fantastic team. If you make it in, you make it in. You're great. So there we have it. The 2024 UEFA Euro Snake Tournament winner, the giant Madagascan hognose snake, taking home the big gold trophy.